Whoa! Good damn afternoon, Americans. We are live. Um, how do you beat that? How do you beat that? How do you beat that intro? Sorry I'm late, guys. I don't know what is going on with my email, but I'll send shit to myself, to put clips on here. And I don't know, it takes 15, 20 minutes because I was all set it, ready to go. I go to download them and they weren't there. So I had to get them out of the trash because as I edit them, I delete them. I don't like clutter. Didn't fucking go in the inbox. So I had to restore them, get them out of the trash, and then resend them. And then I look back and all of them had fucking showed up in my email. Oh, that pisses me off. But anyway, that young lady right there, we're going to talk about her. She's in the thumbnail. That's her. Officer Gonzalez, at your service, my friend. Shouldn't be saying things like that if you're a law enforcement. MH, what's going on? Welcome. Thank you for sticking around. Bobby, you're right. Hey, Bobby, you got 60 people in here, 20 likes. Come on, people, help me. Help me tell YouTube what you want. Miss Booth, what's up? Where you been? Good to see you here again. Shout out to everybody in the comments. I see you. You are heard. You are felt. Yeah, and I'll get into it a little bit more, but if you Walter, Sharon, what's up? Sharon! If you have those kind of thoughts, they're your thoughts. They're your experience. That's what you believe. Nobody can change that. Nobody can get inside your head and tell you what you're supposed to think and what you're supposed to feel. And the only thing is, don't record it, you fucking idiot. The internet, I'm telling you, on one hand, connects the world, technology, but man, there's a downside. And the downside is people record stupid shit. And I'm so glad that everything wasn't recorded when I was young. You watch, what was it? What was I watching the other day? I think it was Beverly Hills Cop. That came out, 84? And so you have Taggart and Rosewood. At the end of the movie, they're supposed to tail Axel to the city limits to make sure he gets the hell out of Beverly Hills. You've caused enough trouble. Lieutenant Bogomil. Nitro, I do car videos all the time. I just do lives every week on Friday. So Bogomil tells Rosewood and Taggart to tail Foley to the city limits so he can cause no more trouble. And Foley tells him, he says, hey, you guys are going to tail me to the city limits, right? And they're like, yeah. He's like, well, I think I'm going to stop off. I saw a cool place to get something to drink. I think I'll go there. And, that's a callback to earlier in the movie when they went to a strip club. And Rosewood says, I don't think so, man. We're on duty. And Taggart says, come on, Billy. I don't think one beer is going to kill us. And I had a thought. I was like, back then, a cop could do that. A cop could go have a beer, and it wouldn't be recorded. It wouldn't be on his body cam. It wouldn't be on the security camera at the bar. It wouldn't be on the traffic camera. I'm like, shit, man. Everything's recorded. You can't do shit anymore. Unless, like, you're inside your house, locked in a closet. And even then, if you got one of those smart things, you got Alexa in your house, you got a Google House, that's just listening to you. You can't even be alone in the closet. You're going to hear, are you okay in there? Alexa, chill. Damn, everything is recorded now, son of a bitch. And I'm so glad that we didn't have the temptation to record. Because just because we're of a certain age doesn't mean, oh, well, if there were cameras when I was that age, I never would have done that. Yeah, you would. We're just lucky to miss that bullet, to dodge that bullet. But golly, why? I'll save it. Save it. Like Eddie Arcadian told the guy who broke the table with a headbutt in The Last Dragon. Save it! Save it! So we're going to talk about that. Pinche pendeja puta mierda. Also, SPLC. No, I'm not a cheerleader. SPLC stands for the Southern Poverty Law Center. You hear that, and it sounds good, right? Southern Poverty Law Center. It means there's something going on in this region in the South. It has to do with poor people. They're going to be protected under law, and there's a center, there's a place that you can go. There's a place that you can go. She says, H. Booth, Ms. H. Booth, 74, says, we have a weather alert here in Indy. Sirens going off. You guys got a tornado coming through there? You are the Midwest, right? I don't know. The tornadoes go that far north? What's the warning for? Some kind of extreme weather? Were they seeding the clouds again? Were there chemtrails in the sky, man? So the Southern Poverty Law Center sounds good, tugs at those heartstrings, poor people law, somebody's an advocacy group. And they are an advocacy group for the downtrodden, the colored, and the Jews, man, because, you know, the Klan and all these fucking racist people, man. So the Southern Poverty Law Center is there to fight for you, the little guy, the little colored guy. Ooh, you're even more important and more valuable than a little white guy. You're a little colored guy, little colored lady. You need somebody to stand up for you. So that's what they do. That's what they've done. That's what they're known for. Turns out they were, hold on, before I say this, I'm just going to make sure I say it right, because my mind is like, this doesn't make sense, but my mouth is like, we got to say it. You know, my mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me yeah. Right? The Southern Poverty Law Center was paying members of white supremacy groups to do white supremacy shit. I. Remember Chester Cheetah? It's not easy being cheesy. What? I don't have any bumps or bruises. I don't remember falling down the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland. So how do we get here? How do we get to a point where anti-racism group is funding the worst racists in the country? Guys, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that like a bike with no seat. We're going to get in that ass like a bike with no seat. Also, even worse, I bet you were thinking to yourself, let me tell you what you're thinking. Let me put on my fortune teller garb. Let me put on my Miss Cleo. Call me now for your free tarot card reading. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that's pretty bad. You're thinking, how can the Southern Poverty Law Center do anything worse than fund the very racists that their organization was built to fight? That's like Superman secretly paying the kryptonite company. Here, guys, make more kryptonite. Even though it kills me, make more kryptonite. Or that's like Batman or any other superhero funding. That's like Batman donating to the mafia in Gotham City. Batman, you're a crime fighter. Therefore, why would you fund crime? I know. Can it get worse for the SPLC? Of course it can. It can always be worse. There's always room for Jell-O. The Southern Poverty Law Center is also directly responsible for the Sloppy Joe presidency. How? How did they get that elderly blood on their hands? I'll tell you. No bullshit. The Southern Poverty Law Center is directly responsible for Sloppy Joe Biden's presidency. Or, I guess I can't call it a presidency. They are responsible for the 4 years that he stumbled around the White House, drooling on his shirt and shitting the White House floor. He was probably followed by one of those Roombas, like a shit Roomba, and it just followed behind him, cleaning up his little old man poopies that fell out the bottom of his pant leg, unbeknownst to him. What? Who keeps leaving little chocolates behind me? I don't like chocolate. I'm more of a Werther's Original fan. Hey, chill! Who's following me? Leaving little tiny morsels of chocolate. It's not chocolate, Joseph. It's your shit. Anyway, we'll talk about that too. And Ilhan Omar, you know that angry little Somalian troll that lives under a bridge in Minnesota. Oh, bummer. And the only way to get her to come out is to have little, like these little coins that say government, federal government funds. If you have a little federal government fund coin, like one of those commemorative call now. And for $24.95, you can get a pure gold buffalo coin. Like that shit at 1 o'clock in the morning. If you have a U.S. federal funding coin and you have it near the bridge and you rub it and say, here, come on, Ilhan. She'll come out and grab it from your hand, and then she'll tell you a Somalian riddle and then scurry under the bridge again until you bring her more federal funding. Sounds like a little Tasmanian devil. A little Somalian devil. And she'll take it from you. And she'll tell you a Somalian riddle. Never be first in line to receive food from Sally Struthers. She'll go back under the bridge. Come here, you little shit. And you try to grab her, but she's too fast. Well, that little bastard, she had what's called an accounting error. All right? Don't blame her. It's her accountant's fault. That little nerdy bean counter over there, he fucked up, not her. Not her and her husband. Her brother? No. I think it's like her actual husband. Not her brother husband, but her husband. You know, the evil white guy that she's married to. You know, she's married to an evil white supremacist because we were told that white men were the most dangerous thing in this country. Yet, she doesn't mind backing up that third world punani up against his evil white penis every night. Oscar Gonzalez says it's the Leering Center math. That's not funny. All right? Those people come here for a better life, not to steal our money. Don't be an asshole, Oscar. Miss Booth says JG is the OG. My daughter Carly was drinking out of one of his cups yesterday. Hey, I appreciate that. And of course, she was drinking either water or fresh squeezed juice of some kind because that's the kind of life she lives. None of that alcohol. That's for bad people. She drinks fresh squeezed organic carrot juice with a wheat germ shot. Wheat germ boost. But thank you for drinking it out of my cup. Millions of cups in the world, and you chose mine. Thank you. You want to be like her? You want to be like Miss Carly and drink out of cool shit? You don't want to drink out of something made by little tiny Chinese hands? Then get your ass over to My Green Gear. Oh, yeah, the old school one where I look like George Washington. Yeah. So anyway, that little Somalian turd, she had an accounting error. And I'm going to tell you what it was. And don't be rude in these comments. I don't want to see any disparaging comments about that little immigrant. But so her assets were valued, her and her husband's assets were valued at somewhere between $6.5 and $30 million. But then people started sniffing around, the fuzz. They started sniffing around. Be careful when you're sniffing around Ilhan Omar. You might catch a whiff of that rotten Somali poon. But that's what it was. Their assets were valued at. But then people started sniffing around and they were like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Turns out we're only worth between 19 and 95,000. Oopsie doodle. I know you thought it was in the millions, but it turns out it's only in the tens of thousands. Oops. Sorry about that. We need to get a new accountant. That guy sucks. I wonder what her hair smells like. Her hair smells like if you can get a hold of a gallon of goat piss and put it in a plastic milk jug and then leave it out in the sun like iced tea for a week, and then you pop that bloated, it'll probably make it sound like a soda. When you open it, that's what her hair smells like. No, take that and boil it, and then that's what her hair smells like. Yes, you're right, Ms. Booth. Her brother would know because he's fell asleep nose deep in that hair many a nights. He's like, Also, she was interviewed by a woman, and I'll show you a video, but she was interviewed by a woman, a reporter, and she said, last week, Ilhan Omar, you told me that I was stupid for asking about your finances. And she was like, you are stupid. She's like, well, don't you feel that you need to tell us, tell me what's been going on with your money? She's like, I don't owe you jack shit. I was like, huh. It's not the language of a public servant. Because when you're a public servant, you're a servant to the public, and then you and me are. We'll talk about that later. Here's a question. Are female cops, Cracked Rock 1 says it says her hair smells like the back of a taxi cab under that thing on her head. I agree. But it smells like the back of a taxi cab, but not just the seat where your ass sits, but if you get, where the seat meets like this and you get, that's where all the crumbs, the French fry crumbs and shit are, like right in that crevice. On a hot summer day and a homeless dude just pissed back there, then you're starting to get close. But it's hard. I mean, like, if you took some of her hair and like somebody was unconscious and you ran it under their nose like a smelling salt, they'd sit up like, what the fuck was that? LDS German Shepherd. Thank you very much for the 5. Dang, 3 million? Must be great to be an immigrant congresswoman. Well, you messed up. You had the poor misfortune of being born an American citizen. There's not a lot out there for you. But if you happen to be in another country and you felt like you wanted to be an illegal turd piece of shit and Sloppy Joe was in office, thanks again, SPLC, then shit, have at it, man. You would have got all kinds of stuff. Housing, education, money, food, transportation, clothes. You want to stay in a nice hotel? You want to stay in a hotel so nice that the average American can't afford to stay there, but you want to stay there for free and shit everywhere? No problem. Matter of fact, come here. Welcome. Come here. No, it's all right. Go ahead. You'll be done in a minute. There you go. There you go, little immigrant guy. Go ahead. No. Let it go. Yeah. Ew, what am I going to do this? Come here, American taxpayer. Yeah. Ew, yeah. Here, that's for you. Now go bring me more tax money. Quick. And then our hair looks like something about Mary. They wipe the immigrant splooge on, and then we're looking like something. Is that hair gel? Here's a question. Are female cops an epidemic? I got 2 videos I want to show you, and then we'll talk about it. Russell Brand, a British comedian actor, water. He actually has one of the funniest lines I ever heard in a movie. It was it Saving Sarah Marshall? And somebody was talking to him, and he goes, and his character is a very pompous, aloof, just asshole, just totally unaware of people around him, other people's feelings, just going through life doing just a stereotypical douche, arrogant, pompous prick, self-centered celebrity. That's the character that he's playing. And I think he played it so well because there was a bit of him, a bit of his real personality in there. But somebody's talking to him and he goes, or somebody asked him, what did they say? And he goes, bullshit, blah, 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 bullshit. That was so funny to me. But Russell Brand, and he's a Christian. That's what he espouses to be. Talks a lot about it, which is cool. But he also just admitted, I think it was on Megyn Kelly's show, that when he was 30 years old, he had sex with a 16-year-old. Uh-oh. So we'll watch that video. And that's very unfortunate because I like Russell Brand, but can't go around fucking teenagers. uh, when you're 30, not 19. I was 19. She was 16. I was 20. She was 17. I was 21. She was 19, or actually, no, that would be okay. But 21, she was 18. No, wasn't it? Or whatever, 17, 16. It wasn't that close. 30? 30. 30. Todd Adams, that's what he said. He said, I was on drugs. I was a different man. Yeah, you were a pervert. We'll talk about it. Speaking of perverts, I'm pretty sure Snoop Dogg is one, because a video recently surfaced of him performing at a concert, and there was a stripper on stage dancing seductively, scantily clad. That's fine. Snoop is well over 18. That's fine. Everybody in the audience, you over 18? Watch this stripper shake her ass. Watch as she bends over and shows you her birth canal. That's fine. Like, you could stick a flashlight in there and the beam of light would come out of her mouth. That's fine. You're consenting adults. I don't care what kind of shit you watch. I don't care what you do with other consenting adults. I don't care what you put on your body or in your body. I could give a shit what a consenting adult does to themselves or other consenting adults. But here's the problem. There was a 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old girl on stage that he called up on stage. Might want to put the strippers away before you call the kids up on stage. Call me a prude. And then I have this program. It's called the lead implant program. And it's called Jericho Green's lead implant program. And how it works, there's a few companies out there who make lead distribution devices. Let me see, how could I put it? Okay, here's some of the mainstream popular companies that make lead distribution products. Glock, Smitty, no, what is it? Smythe, no, Smith. That was Smith and Wallet, no, Smith and Wilson, no, Smith and Wesson. That's what it is. Glock, Smith and Wesson. I believe through H&K, Taurus, Colt. You guys see where I'm going with this, right? There's all these companies that make these lead distribution devices. So I found a video where we have a prime candidate for one of my lead implant programs. How it works, you put the little lead capsules, the little projectiles in the distribution device. What's it called? You rack it, slide, something like cock it, whatever. It's all these different words for it. And then you depress the triggering mechanism, if you will, and then the lead is implanted and the problem is gone. I know it's kind of confusing. I'm getting this program off the ground. I haven't worked out all the kinks yet, but I want to tell you about this prime candidate for my lead distribution program. And you guys might know of other people who need to be enrolled into my program. And it's not like a volunteer program. Like if you come across my radar for Jericho Green's lead distribution program, then you have to be in this program. We need to place you in this program. So I believe it was the Hodge twins. We'll just start there. You guys want to kick it off with the prime candidate for my lead implant program? Okay. I'm reloading. Oh, they got the Snoop pervert video on here too. Cool, so I can kill 2 birds with 1 lead distribution product. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Are you ready? Now, when I tell you that this cat is a prime candidate, I'm not kidding. Okay? I'm not joking when I say he's a prime candidate. I mean, There's no one better. There's no one better for my lead implant program than this fucking guy. So hold on, let me get the screen right. Bippity boppity boo. Here we go. Let me share the screen with you. Now this fella, I'm not even going to tell you. Well, I have to tell you because I zoomed in on it so much that you can't see the title. But this guy was caught jerking off in his car in front of a middle school. Huh? Tell me he's not a prime candidate for my lead implant program. This dude was caught beating off in front of a junior high school. And wait until you hear the excuse that he gives the cops. The restraint that police officers have to show in some of these situations. I'll remind you of a story. I'll do it real quick because I'll probably forget. I've told you this before, but if you haven't heard it, you're new. I'll tell it to you. If you've heard it again, if you heard it before, you're probably going to love to hear it again. So a couple years ago, I did a ride-along program with the Yuba City Police Department. Shout out to my man, Officer Kenny. Shout out to my man, Officer C. Braley. He's the one that I was actually in the patrol car with. Went to a murder call. Someone died in their house. Lots of homeless interactions. Another call of a guy sitting out in front of somebody's house. All kinds of cool shit, right? And he told me a story about this guy. We'll call him Mr. Wilson. And Mr. Wilson was inside of a Starbucks bathroom, and he was pleasuring himself. And on his way in the bathroom, he solicited a 6-year-old boy for oral sex. So Mr. Wilson's a real winner. And Officer Braley shows up to the scene. There's 2 19-year-old girl, little baristas working back there. They ain't going to do shit. And he goes in there, effects the arrest. And he said that when he went in there, I beg to differ, BJ. He says a wood chipper's too quick. I think if we go feet first, we might have something there. So he goes in there and he says the guy had 1 foot up on the sink in Starbucks, was jerking off. So he takes him into custody. He said, I effected the arrest. Takes him into custody, takes him back to the precinct, interviews him. The guy proceeds to tell him that he wants to have sex with a kid, and that if he thought that he could take Officer Braley physically, that he would rape him. And Officer Braley said, you think you could take me? And the guy looked at him and goes, nah. Officer Braley's also former special forces in the United States Air Force. So good choice of you not trying to force yourself on Officer Braley. And Officer Braley was, if you had a police officer action figure on a shelf in a toy store, that's Officer Braley. That's what cops should look like. Young, a go-getter, highly trained, but also willing to de-escalate before he escalates, of the way he interacted with people, the way he talked to homeless people that you and I both would have looked at like, get the fuck away from me. He approaches them. He has relationships with them. He offers them help. Very kind. But if you wanted to go the other way, we can go that way too. That's how police officers should be. So he interviews the guy. He tells him all that. They call an ambulance because he finds out that Mr. Wilson had a bottle of hot sauce, a crack pipe, and a small bottle of lotion up his ass. So Officer Braley wasn't going to take it out of his ass. He's not that highly trained. So he calls an ambulance. They come in. One of the EMTs is a female. They go in to talk to Officer Braley. They come out. He's in the hallway. You'll never guess who was trying to jack off on the gurney in the hallway. That's right, Mr. Wilson. So Mr. Wilson was trying to pleasure himself on the gurney. Come to find out, Mr. Wilson still had the bracelet on from the jail that he was released from 8 hours earlier. Mr. Wilson, who decided to solicit a child for oral sex, masturbate in a public in a business's restroom, shove at least 3 things up his ass and try to pleasure himself in the hallway of a police department, was released from jail 8 hours earlier, the same day. Mr. Wilson gets out a week later and tries to rob an elderly woman with a straight razor in a parking lot. Go, no, give him another chance. Let him out. Don't kill him. So this jerk off right here, these are the kinds of things that police have to deal with. And I asked him, I said, dude, how did you not take him out into one of those orchards and just kaboom? Like this guy right here, prime candidate for my lead implant program. Remember that scene in Desperado where Antonio Banderas was walking out of the bar? It's when he meets Selma Hayek for the first time, and the guy's walking up behind him, and he turns around, the dude shoots him like in the arm, and he takes the guy down, and he takes out 2 Desert Eagles and puts them under the guy's neck right here, and he's straddling on top of him. They're on a sidewalk in Mexico, and he puts the 2 Desert Eagles right here and just goes boom. And it shows from the guy who's getting shot, it shows his POV looking up at Antonio Banderas, and all this blood just goes everywhere and splatters all over Antonio Banderas' face. Like people who solicit children for sex or who jerk off in front of a junior high. Antonio Banderas, boom! It was like shooting a gun in a bowl of blood. It just fucking went everywhere. I'm not saying that they deserve that. But I mean, what do you do with people like that? Put them in jail so they can go to commissary every 2 weeks and buy candy and cookies, and they can have a TV in their room, and they can order shoes, they can have a radio, and they can get on an iPad and talk to their family. Oh man, that's awesome. That sounds like fun. But let's check in on their victim. Let's check in on their victims. Oh, she doesn't like to go out and play anymore. Oh, she's an introvert now. Oh, the little boy is violent now and he's acting out. Oh, that's weird. Their lives seem all fucked up, but he's chilling in jail watching the latest episode of Walking Dead. How is that fair? That's not right. He gets to sit in jail, work out if he wants to, maybe hang out with other perverts and play board games. Thinking maybe some of this is in order. And that's just the appetizer. That's just the chips and salsa they bring to the table. We're just getting started. Are you kidding me? Maybe some of this? I don't know.
You're a fucking liar. Shut up.
You know, that movie ended. Become Wrath, David. Man. But anywho, this pervert right here, jerking it in front of a junior high school. What say you, sir?
A middle school, somebody walked by and they thought he was sitting in his car petting his monkey. Oh dear. Check this out.
We got a complaint that you're off in front of a middle school. Are you off in front of a middle school?
No, sir.
Why are your pants unzipped?
They just are.
Why?
You heard that correctly, sir. Why are your pants unzipped? Because, you know, hey, let me play devil's advocate for this guy, because you guys don't want to admit it. You guys are just assholes and you don't want to admit the truth. We've all been driving along. Oh man, I'm tired. I need to pull over. You pull over in front of a school. Next thing you know, your pants are unzipped. Don't be up on your high horse.
Why would somebody call us and say that and have your pants be unzipped? All right, I'm going to have you step out. You fix your pants and nothing falls out.
Yeah, fix your pants so your dick doesn't fall out. Now, this would be a perfect time for these guns they talk about, because gun violence, that's what they say, guns are the problem. Not the people, not the one who pulled the trigger, not the one who loaded up and went to a school and shot everybody. No, it's the gun. So wouldn't this be a perfect time for the gun to jump out of the officer? Like, what? And just go up to the side of that dude's.
This is the most wild misunderstanding ever. What were you doing today? Like, why were you pants? He said, with all honesty, yeah, I had an itch.
Yeah, all of it, sir, not partial honesty.
On my inner thigh. Okay. And I guess somebody saw me leaning back, hand down there, they must have assumed. But, I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay. The old inner thigh itch. We've all been there. The old inner thigh itch, huh? Dude, sometimes, hey, don't act like you guys don't know. Sometimes that inner thigh is itchy as hell. And the only way to get to it, especially when you're wearing shorts like he was, the only way to get to it is you got to stop in front of an elementary school. You got to unzip your pants, lean the chair back, like he said, lean it back, and then you can get at the right angle to get at that itchy, what do you call it? The itchy thigh, the itchy inner thigh. I don't know about you guys, but that happens. That's the only way. You ever try? Have you ever tried to scratch your inner thigh without unzipping your pants? No, you haven't. So don't cast a stone at this guy when you've never had your inner thighs be itchy before.
You know what's crazy?
Dude, it's a wrap. Put him in the patrol car, drive to a secluded area. You know the rest. Have his car towed. Have it put in a you know the tow lot, a wrecking yard somewhere, wherever they put the cars when they get towed away. Like if you have a DUI or something, they tow your car away. Put it there, and then just watch it collect dust over the years. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what the fuck. I didn't see him. Last time I saw him, he was parked in front of a junior high school. I haven't seen him. Would that be so bad? Would that be so bad to have one less person who pulls their dick out in front of a junior high school on the planet? I don't think so. You guys, this is the biggest misunderstanding I've ever been a part of. I know what you're thinking. It looks like I had my hand in my pants jerking off. It looks, you see me going like that to right? But no, I'm not jerking off. My inner thigh. Isn't how you scratch your inner thigh? So I scratch my inner thigh. You guys are fucking haters. That's all. You guys are haters, fool. You guys are a bunch of fucking haters. You guys don't know this guy's life. You don't live his truth. Have you ever walked a mile in his cum-soaked shoes? No. Well, then fucking don't say nothing. Oh my goodness. You're not going to believe this. This is the craziest misunderstanding ever. They thought I was jerking off. It turns out, no. My thigh was itching, so I had to get in there. Yeah. My tongue was hanging out of my mouth and I was breathing heavy, but other than that. Damn, no he didn't. No, he didn't. Okay. Snoop, you're next. Snoop Froggy Doggy. What are you doing, man? No. Okay, so I have a DJ friend of mine, amazing DJ, on radio DJ, parties, concerts, does it all. I won't say his name because he's deep in the entertainment industry and he's surrounded by TDS sufferers. But he told me one time that if you're doing something on YouTube or something like that, or using a clip, if it's performed live, there's no copyrights, but which play it safe. And you really don't need to hear what's going on, just see it. And if you know anything about Snoop's music, he's performing Drop It Like It's Hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Shizzle, bizzle, kizzle. Like on the home. So he's talking about drop it like it's hot. What does that mean? Is he talking about taking a baked potato out of the oven? No, he's saying drop your ass and vagina like it's hot. Drop it to the floor, bitch, like the stripper who's in the video. He's saying drop that ass to the floor. And when he says that, you're going to see the stripper drop that ass to the floor. She starts at the top of the pole and just goes all the way down and catches herself with her thighs. Impressive if it were a room full of adults. So Snoop Dogg is talking about if a nigga gives you attitude, pimps, hoes, bitches, there's a half-naked bitch dancing on a pole mere feet from what looks like a 6-year-old at the most. I'm leaning more towards 5, at the most 6. And Snoop is on one side rapping this fucking degenerate garbage. There's a 5 or 6-year-old next to him. And then on the other side, you got a stripper. So you got a fake gangster stripper sandwich. And unfortunately, the meat in this sandwich is a 5 or 6-year-old little girl. So many things wrong with this video. But you know what? That's why you're here with me to help me break it down. So unfortunately, what you're going to have to see is Snoop Dogg rapping next to a stripper with a little girl. There you go. There you go. There, get it, girl, get it. Not the little girl. I'm talking about the stripper. Watch her. Oh, pole almost went up her ass. Look at that. Okay, where do we start? How about we already talked about Snoop being up there as a 55, wherever he's almost 60-year-old dumbass acting like a fucking crip. So he's up there rapping. You got the stripper. Now, who does this little girl belong to? Is this one of Snoop's shizzle bizzle, my grandkizzles in the shizzle? Is that one of his grandkids? Is her mom or dad in the audience? Like, where is this kid's parents? Wow, that shit is disgusting. Look at that shit. Why is that girl at that concert? What is going on here? Why is this little girl even at the concert? That is fucking disgusting, man. Disgusting. But it's cool because Snoop, you know, he hangs out with Martha Stewart. He had the LGBT alphabet soup group cartoon. Remember he had a little falling out. Remember this?
I took my grandson to see what was the movie with Buzz Light?
I think it's called
with
Lightyear.
Kiki. And like, and she had a baby with a woman. Oh, I didn't come in for this. They putting it everywhere.
They putting it everywhere. Shizzle, bizzle, kizzle. Remember that? He said, man, they're putting this shit everywhere. I just went with my little grandkid to the movies. I didn't want to come here and see no weird shit. I didn't want to see no bullshit. They put it everywhere. Uh-oh, we can't say that, Snoop. You are part of the mainstream. You are the most main of the mainstream. Martha Stewart, Snoop, I think he, if he didn't actually light the torch, but he was part of the Olympics, the last Olympics we had. He was part of the Olympic ceremony. I believe he was part of the group when they're entering the Olympic stadium. Snoop is as mainstream as it gets. So after that happened, you had him go on some GLAAD podcast or something like that where October something where you're supposed to wear purple. And Snoop was doing this podcast and you could tell he was totally uncomfortable. You could tell that he was out of his element. He did not want to be talking to this fruity ass dude because he was like, hey, Snoop, what's up, guy? Yeah, I'm so glad to be here. It was like, it was disgusting, over the top, right? Super flamboyant. And it's like, oh, shizzle, kizzle, I'm here with my buddy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, are you in a movie or something? And you could totally tell the guy was there to promote some bullshit movie he was in, but it was part of the humiliation ritual. It was part of making Snoop Dogg pay for speaking against their golden calf, the alphabet soup group, the Rainbow Mafia. That was part of his penance. He had to tuck his tail, to use a dog reference. He had to tuck his tail, and he had to bend over so they could bury their bone in his backyard. So he got bullshit like this, him inviting a little girl on the stage to dance to that disgusting fucking music. Again, I'm no prude. I grew up in the 90s. I was there. I was in 8th grade when Snoop dropped his first album. If you are an adult, I don't care. I can't even put into words how much I don't care what you do to yourself or what you put in your ears or your mind or your body. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, Keisha. But when it comes to kids, somebody's got to say something, and this shit is fucking gross. What about that 5 or 6 year old? Ugh, ew. Why did that stripper not walk off stage? Like, I'm not going to be up here shaking my ass, showing my chocolate starfish to the audience 6 feet away from a kindergartner. You guys are fucking disgusting. Man, where's that kid's mom? What the fuck is that little kid's family? How did she end up at a Snoop concert? I don't know about you, but I am hot. I am heated if I find out that my first grader went to a Snoop concert. Huh? You saw it. You saw that shit. Oh, here, let's place some blame, shall we? So the Southern Poverty Law Center, they got in some trouble the other day. They were indicted by the Department of Justice because they were using, here, let me let the acting Surgeon General answer this. A reporter asked him a question. He's like, just so I'm clear, you are saying that the Southern Poverty Law Center was paying white supremacists. Yeah.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche said at a news conference announcing the charges that the SPLC is, quote, a nonprofit entity that purports to fight white supremacy and racial hatred by reporting on extremist groups and conducting research to inform law enforcement groups with the goal of dismantling them. But, quote, the SPLC was not dismantling these groups, it was instead manufacturing the extremism it purports to oppose by paying sources to stoke racial hatred.
Boom. That wasn't the clip that I thought it was, but basically it's explaining what happened. But this reporter tells him, he says, so you're telling me that this happened? And he goes, he says, you're alleging that they did this. He's like, no, I'm not alleging it. That is what the grand jury returned. They said that there's evidence beyond a shadow of a doubt that they did this. He's all, I'm not alleging this. This isn't something that we made up. This isn't something that we're using to go after the Southern Poverty Law Center. This is what the grand jury is alleging. Not me. He's like, yeah, you got it. You got it, man. That's right. That's exactly what happened. Even the reporter's like, wait. Trying to get my head around all this. But those little bastards were giving money to the Klan. And not only the Klan, but other groups.
The groups, as the general laid out, include the Ku Klux Klan, the United Klans of America, Unite to Right, National Alliance, the National Socialist Movement, the Aryan Nation Motorcycle Club, and the National Socialist Party of America, and also the American Front.
Damn. Damn, SPLC. Wait a minute. That's right. DOJ charges Southern Poverty Law Center with fraud for paying white supremacist groups $3 million to stoke hatred. So what they were doing is they were getting informants. They would find somebody within these organizations. Here, bring me this information, or what are they doing here? And they have these informants bringing them information, but what are you doing with the information? These groups are still around. You're not eradicating them. What are you doing with all the, and they lied to their donors. They're telling the donors, we're taking this money to fight white supremacy and racism, but they're paying the white supremacist and racist groups. You cannot make this shit up. If you got a room full of those perverted writers from Hollywood, gun to their head, come up with something crazier than this. They couldn't do it. They could not. Truth is truly stranger than fiction. The Department of Justice announced Tuesday that a grand jury indicted the Southern Poverty Law Center for making fraudulent payments of millions of dollars to members of the Ku Klux Klan and other neo-Nazi organizations. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche said at a news conference that the 11-count indictment filed in Alabama federal court alleged the left-wing nonprofit had, in the past decade, paid at least $3 million to 8 members of far-right groups. One leader of the 2017 Unite Right protest in Charlottesville, Virginia. Did you feel that? Do you feel that shudder go through your body when I said Charlottesville? Ooh, there it goes again. Received roughly $270,000 over an 8-year period. Neither that person nor others were identified in the 14-page indictment. Another embedded in a neo-Nazi organization was paid $1 million to steal 25 boxes of the hate group's documents. I don't understand. What is the point? What are you doing with all those boxes of information? Where is the presentation of its contents? Is it like Geraldo Rivera when he was outside of Al Capone's safe? What's going to be in there? He opened it. Fucking nothing. There was like a dead rat in there. Nothing. Hold on. Oh, and here's how it all connects to Sloppy Joe.
He alleged that in one case, the group paid the leader of the group that planned the far-right Unite the Right protest in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017.
Uh-oh. Unite the Right. Remember the tiki torches? Not a real torch. Tiki. You know, the ones you line the walkway with when you're having a luau party for your kid's graduation in the backyard? Yeah, remember that? Charlottesville, Joe Biden. How do those connect? Well, he'll tell you. It's going to take a while, but he'll tell you.
The idea that goons could come out of fields at night with lighted torches, carrying Nazi flags, chanting the same exact anti-Semitic bile that was chanted in the streets of Nuremberg and Berlin and every other German city in the 30s. No, but look, get serious, guys. So hush up. This is deadly earnest. We are in a fight for America's soul.
Remember him? Remember that old fuddy-duddy? No, get serious, guys. It's deadly earnest. We're fighting for America's soul. Remember that? That sounds familiar. Torches, anti-Semitic bile. Where have I heard that before?
I made the decision to run for president after Charlottesville. Close your eyes and remember what you saw. Neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and the KKK coming out of the fields with torches lighted, veins bulging, chanting the same anti-Semitic bile heard across Europe in the 30s.
It was Sloppy Joe. What? I think I heard that. What?
But in 2017, in Charlottesville, Virginia, crazed neo-Nazis with angry faces came out of the fields literally with torches, carrying Nazi banners from the woods and the fields, chanting the same anti-Semitic bile heard across Europe in the 30s.
Damn, I knew I heard that somewhere before, but this is the Southern Poverty Law Center's fault. The guy who organized it and then got online afterwards talking shit about how it ended and what happened and more bigotry, he was paid by the Southern Poverty Law Center. And what happened that day in Charlottesville, Sloppy Joe just told you, that's why he ran for president. After what happened in Charlottesville, because of the Southern Poverty Law Center, That's why he ran for president. So it's your fault, SPLC. You gave us Sloppy Joe. This is another race hoax that is proven to be false. Another one. Throw this on the Juicy Smollett pile. That's the foundation for all of this shit. Throw that on the pile. Throw the, what was she, a congresswoman or an alderwoman? Somebody left a noose on her desk. Uh-oh. Turns out she did. There was a black guy in, I think, Atlanta, owned a restaurant. Somebody vandalized it and broke in and stole it. TV. No. Turned out he did it. Bubba Wallace, the NASCAR driver. Somebody left a noose on the garage door. Uh-oh. Nope. It was just a rope used to pull the door down when they want to close it. So on and so forth. So many hoaxes. And it's to the point now where you hear them, you're like, they did what? There was a recent one in Chicago. Some black woman centric show in Chicago. All black female casts are ran by all black people. Some all black something. And somebody wrote on there, on the spray painted on the window, murder black women or kill black women. Some bullshit. I didn't even follow up on the story, but you can bet 99.9% with 99.9% accuracy that's some fucking bullshit. Nobody's gonna write kill black women. Shut up. So this is another one. A big, huge, orchestrated fucking hoax. Charlottesville. That's where Trump said they were good, they were decent people on both sides. But they only play that part. The probably the biggest anti-racism group in the country, and they're paying they have white supremacists on their payroll. Whew, man, that's crazy. But speaking of racists, here's a real one. Enough of these fake racists. Well, those white supremacy groups are real, but the SPLC isn't real. But speaking of a real one, we started off with her. Let's continue. Here she is, former Houston police officer, recently fired for saying shit like this.
I kid you not. I don't know what the fuck came over me. I grabbed that nigga by the neck and I was like, "Come here, you fucking nigger."
Ooh, thank you, Officer Gonzalez. So she was in a car. It didn't look like she was driving from all her moving both of her hands and looking into the camera, which makes it even worse because if you had a friend or a significant other in the car with you, you think they would have put their hand over the camera and said, don't fucking do that. You're a cop. But nope. I'm guessing it was another female because no one hates females worse than females. Her girlfriend was like, nah, do that shit. But she said a bunch of different, it was like a 1 minute long clip, and I hate niggers, and all they do is steal, and you chimps, and you niggers, and nigger this and nigger that, as you just saw. The fact that she has those beliefs don't bother me. I don't know her, and what she thinks does not affect my life. But let's be honest. She's a police officer. She deals with the worst of the worst. Part of that is probably learned behavior. Part of that is constantly dealing with ghetto-ass niggas who act like that, who do steal, and probably over and over, same person over and over. He knows them by the first name. Been arresting them for years. Probably arrested their dad and their uncles and arrested their brother. Motherfuckers like that. And that's probably why she feels that way. Maybe some of it's good old-fashioned racism. Maybe her parents are racist and they pass some of that on down. But if we're being honest, I'm sure a lot of that, maybe most of it, is learned behavior. Constantly dealing with these fucking savages. Constantly finding switches on them and constantly putting white sheets over them in the street. Constantly going to the hood and seeing all the squalor and filth that they live in and having children in there with rodents and vermin and insects, and they're dirty and hungry. Can't read, can't write, can't speak because they're fucking neglected. All that shit that they see, that's going to affect anybody. I bet you have cops like the black cop in Menace to Society. Hate you niggas. Because all he sees is the underbelly. All he sees is these fucking gangbangers out here shooting and killing another 15-year-old, 16-year-old under a sheet, found another AK-47, more dope on this little kid, got to send him away for 12 years, 15 years, all that shit. That's going to affect anybody. And I think we would be hard-pressed to find somebody, even this woman, take this woman right here. Take this very woman right here who was saying nigga this and nigga that all over the video. I think if you put her in an area with what I like to call more Cosby-like black folks who are professionals, who are law-abiding, who have some semblance of education and integrity and shame, who don't go outside in fucking pajama bottoms and bonnets every fucking day. Don't let me become king of America, because your ass will be punished if you get caught outside like that. Being caught outside, if I were King Jericho, being caught outside in a bonnet and or pajamas would be the same as being caught outside nude. That's against the law. You will be arrested and punished. Take your dirty ass back in the house and put some fucking clothes on and brush your hair and take that damn Jiffy Pop bag off your head. Put on a hat like any other woman does when she don't want to do her hair, but she has to go out. Put on no fucking bag. Anyway, I think even that woman would be hard-pressed to feel that same way if you put her around black folks like that. Because they wouldn't act like that. They wouldn't be trying to steal. They wouldn't be doing criminalistic shit. So I don't think she would feel that way. So I think if that's the case, then is it racism? Because racism, that's going to be blanketed, right? You're going to have that broad brush you're going to paint people with if you are an actual racist. It doesn't matter how you talk or if you're articulate or not. You're black or you're whatever. So that's that. A caste system almost. Jennifer, no, you didn't. Jennifer K. Norwood said, even worse is men in bonnets. You know, I saw that one time. I've seen it online, but I saw it one time in real life. And you know how a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is called a PB&J? I would have, if I were King Jericho, there would be units patrolling America called PJ and B. Or PJB&B, pajama bottoms and bonnets. That's what we're looking for. They're cruising around, lurking and patrolling the streets, looking for anybody outside of the confines of their property line wearing a bonnet and or pajama bottoms. We're hopping out. We got car antennas and we're going to tear your ass up until you take that shit off. If you get 3 violations, you're going to a labor camp for the summer. And the labor camps are only going to be built in Arizona. You are going to learn to dress appropriately and be presentable when you go out in public. Are you kidding me? Oh, none the miser. Good to see you, man. Yeah, saggy pants. That's going to be a department of the sagging pants division. And if you're sagging your pants, unless you're a toddler who just shit yourself, you will be reprimanded. Again, 3 violations, you're going to a labor camp. And you're going to start hanging around old men. We're going to pull your pants up so high that you're going to get your wallet like this. We're going to teach you to pull those fucking pants up and stop showing your underwear. What the hell? Nobody wants to see your ass in your underwear? But you know how disgusting a man's ass is? Ugh. Put that thing away. Before I make you stand in a puddle and tase you till you piss. Son of a bitch. I don't know. I think I don't know. You got there's a guy online. There's a guy online. He's an old man, and he obviously lives in a very rural area. I think it's in Kentucky or something like that, Tennessee, somewhere back there. And there's this black guy, younger black dude, much younger, less than half that old man's age. But the black guy talks with him. He goes there and he interviews him. What do you think about black people? Da, 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 da. The guy's like, man, I can't stand them. Don't want them around me. The guy will tell him racial jokes. Like, how do you wink at a black guy? Shit like that, right? And the guy, he's totally racist, open about it, don't give a fuck. But even that guy has developed a soft spot and a relationship with that black guy. This dude is a straight up 100% organic, homegrown racist. Racist dude, does not like black people, does not want to be around them, wants two separate societies. And even he hanging around this black dude who's not the shiesty wearing, shooting, killing, dope dealing savage that you see on the news or you see on TV or maybe portrayed in movies or something. And as far as the movie thing, movie and TV, they always portray us as gangbangers and pimps and thugs. Well, who's taking the role? Who's going to the casting call for the 22-year-old street tough? Who's showing up to the audition for the pimp role, for the gangbanger role, sitting in the hallway? Let's see. Yo, bitch, you got my cash. All right, let me try it. Hey, yo, bitch, you got my cash. Let me try that again. I mean, it needs to be more pimpish, more pimpy. Say, bitch, you got my cash. There we go. That's it. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this role. All right, let's see. Gangbanger 22, Mean Streets of Compton. All right. All right, fool, what set you claim, cuz? It's all right. Let's try again. Let's see. Where's my inspiration? Okay, no father, single mom, roaches, no lights, syrup sandwiches, in the hood. Oh, despair, no hope, no hope, no hope, despair. Here we go. All right, cuz, what set you claim, fool? Oh, perfect. Nailed it. Who's taking these roles? Oh, you are, so shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear about how we're represented. You're taking the fucking part. Like Paula Deen, one of the nails in her coffin when they canceled her is that she catered an event where it was on a plantation and the servers were black dudes and they wore the little white, butler jacket with the black bow tie. And she was called racist for catering that event. Well, what about all the black dudes who took the job and wore the little fucking monkey suit to serve the food to all the good white folks? Yeah, what about them? They took the role. So how are you going to blame her for what they took as the job and probably had no problem with it? Fucking ridiculous. But even that guy, even that old man who's really racist, even he is around that black dude and he's like, not all of them are like that. I mean, is there real actual racism? Is there really? Maybe some of you guys had a relative or something. I'm not just talking to white people because anybody can be racist. I have no racists who are Mexican, who are black, whatever, Asian, it don't matter. But hey, guitar picker, what's up, man? He says, Jericho, you need to take How to Be Black lessons from some woke, far left Hollywood white guy. Well, who knows how to be black better than that? Duh, of course. Who else is going to tell me how to be black other than some fucking soft handshake Hollywood weirdo who breastfed till he was 8? But is there real racism? Like, do any of you guys have like a real racist relative, uncle, dad, cousin, whoever, who's just like in-bomb this or chinks or spick, whatever, kike, all the lovely terms that we've made up for each other. Do you think that if they actually met and hung out with a person that they're racist against, and that was a decent person, that was probably the racial opposite of them? Like, do you really think that if they hung out with somebody, a decent person of the race that they supposedly hate, that they would actually hate them no matter what? I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. Broman Dude says, my grandpa was legitimately racist. My aunt had black children to piss him off. Damn. She took it deep. She was like, oh, yeah? All right. About to put them all up in the bloodline, boo. But Broman Dude, if your grandpa hung out with a black person who was like him, another old black man who probably worked hard and all this kind of shit, who served in the military, was a decent person. I just don't see, maybe I'm ignorant to it. That's why I'm asking you guys. There's 100 of you and one of me. That's why I'm asking. I just don't know if that's possible. How do you have, because I imagine the hatred comes from what you see. Maybe an experience you've had. Maybe some black person did you dirty. Or maybe it's a combination of that and what you see. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Fighting, shooting, cussing, screaming, taking over the mall, knocking people out for all that stupid, ignorant, niggerish bullshit we all see on our phones and on our feeds. I think it's based on that. So if they got, because understanding is big. You could have an opinion on someone, but when you meet them and talk to them and get to know them, now you understand. That has to take some of the sting out of it. That has to dull your racism. It has to. Talk to me, Goose. I believe that. I've seen it happen. Sharon, she says, when it comes to POC, people of color, my ex said he wasn't racist, but he said his dick was. Wildcat. This is going to be good. Your name's Wildcat. My grandmother, she was 96. She said the N-word, hard R a few times in public. But why? What's her experience? Did she ever sit down with black folks, decent black folks, and still came out of it? Nope, fuck them. I don't know. Oscar says there's Mexicans in Mexico that are racist to indigenous Mexicans. True. And to the what do you call them, Afro-Mexicans? Because, that slave trade went everywhere. Sharon also said that's your ex-husband. He sounds like a joy. I don't care, man. I ain't racist, man. I ain't fucking him. Yeah, bro, man, dude. He says more prejudice than racism. Noticing patterns isn't racist. It's not. There was a time where if you didn't recognize patterns, you could die. And it's still in us. You have to recognize patterns in people, weather, whatever. Patterns are crucial. Heidi says, maybe 30 years ago, some of my uncles and aunts said shit. But I think even they're not real racist. I think if a black person walked in the room, they still wouldn't be saying that. So if that's the case, if you're not going to say what you really think if one of them comes in the room, then you're not a real racist. Wildcat says she grew up in the 30s. Hey, man, that was a different time. That was a different time, period. And even then, back then, it wasn't the same as it is now. Calling a black person a nigger, that it wasn't the way it is. I wouldn't even say now. Now it's lost its sting, thankfully. But 30, 40 years ago, yeah, and it had a more sting to it. But now, I don't know. But 30s, that was different. Everything was different in the 30s. Literally everything was different in the 30s. Take a car from 1930 and now. Huge difference, right? A home, food. I wish we still had that. Could you imagine how different food tasted 100 years ago? Strawberry, produce, how different that was 100 years ago before all the shit they put in it. The meat was different, looked different, tasted different 100 years ago. A lot of shit. Guitar Picker, what up, man? Thank you very much. He says, for president, J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio? Ooh. I think a perfect ticket would be exactly that. J.D. Vance for president, Marco Rubio for vice president. I think JD Vance, very articulate, intelligent, more of a hammer, I think. Rubio's more of a scalpel. I think they would be a great team. And not that JD Vance would do anything wrong or he's too much of this or too that, whatever. I just think that would be a good balance. Yusuf Putt says, what's up? He says, sup, Jericho. Late to the party. It's all good. You're here now. Come on in. Come on in. The podcast is fine. Thanks for being here. Heidi says, my mom said don't mix. That was in the 80s. So people feel that way. Yeah, Wildcat, almost 100 years ago, man. That's wild. Roman Dude says the hard R means more like a piece of shit. Hold on. Comments, jokes. Okay, the hard R means more like a piece of shit now, not black people. That's how, when I was raised, that's how it was. My parents did not use that word. They did not throw it around lightly. And when they did, they were talking about a specific type of person. That could be any color. But in my house, that word was bad. And it was only in my house, the N word was like your good china. It was only brought out for special occasions, right? You didn't eat off that good china every night. It was for Christmas, Thanksgiving, a company. That's what the N word was in my house. It was only brought out for certain occasions, so you knew it was serious when you heard it. It was like a parent that doesn't yell a lot, so when they do yell, everybody gets scared. That's what the N word was in my house. So it means something to me. It's not just, oh, fucking, it's a term of endearment. That's why I think that's so fucking stupid. That word is vile and disgusting, and I don't like it. So, fuck that. But, you know, unfortunately, everybody doesn't see it that way. Miko Wolf says, food bank in 1930 is real food. Today's food is mostly chemicals. Yeah, could you imagine? Like a bag of chips in a 1930s drugstore versus a bag of fucking like Doritos or Takis now. You know, if you take a hot Cheeto, you could light that shit and it burns like a candle. People put them in their emergency kits for light. Crazy. And little kids are eating those by the bag full. That can't be good. Can't be. I'm no doctor, but shit. Shit. All right, people. Let's get real. Let's get real. So I asked you earlier, are female cops a liability? Are they an epidemic? Because, man, you look at these videos and you're like, I don't understand what you're here for. I don't understand. Like, why are you here? You're just getting in the way. You're just another body for the real strong cops to worry about. You're in the way. You're useless. Absolutely useless. So the first video I'm going to show you is a female cop in like a Home Depot. There's at least two guys trying to get at each other. One of them has a stick or something he's trying to hit the guy with. There's other customers trying to get in the mix that are male. One of the guys, is he in a bathrobe? What the fuck is that? But one of the guy who has the weapon, both of them. Oh my goodness, I didn't see that part of it. Oh my, guys, I did not see this part before the video. I watched it like halfway through. It was kind of like, oh, I get it. And I turned it off. I'll stop it when it gets to, holy shit. But anyway, the guys who are getting into it, it's like they don't even see the female officer. It's like she's not even there. It's like she's so short that they're just looking over her and they don't even know she's there. For some reason, they are beating the living shit out of this dude and she can't do a fucking thing to stop it. I don't know what is going on, but she is worthless. She's like tonsils. If you take her out, you won't see a difference. Wow. Scared Armor, what's up? Welcome. Bruh, Nitro fan, you just watch. Watch this. Why is she here? Not sure. Not sure. Hold on a second. Let's start it from the beginning. Worthless. I don't know what in the... I don't know why she's here. Just watch. Wow.
Oh, shit.
Like she's not even, the dude even pushed her in her back. How tall do you think she is? 5 foot? 5'1"? Not even 5'2". My wife's 5'2". She's shorter than my wife. And look, she's a real cop. She got a gun. She got a taser. She got a baton, probably some cuffs on there. It's like she's not even there.
That's not how you do it. That ain't how you do it.
Like I said, that dude wearing a bathrobe? What the fuck? Now watch what happens when the camera guy walks around and they go down the aisle. This is the craziest part.
Oh, shit.
Number one, I don't know what this guy did, but they are whooping his ass. They are stomping wine out of this dude. Watch this. Look at that. Look at right there. That dude just grabbed that police officer by her utility belt and pulled her out of the fray. He came up behind her and pulled her out of the fight with one hand. Maybe he's a lefty, that's his dominant hand. But he grabbed her with one hand and pulled her out of a melee. What do you think a male officer would have done if somebody tried to pull him by his utility belt? Probably turn around and be like, what the fuck? Probably turn around and punch. Probably arrest that person too. I'm not sure. And another thing I'm not sure about is why that female officer is there.
Now
you pull out your taser. Wow.
You better tase him, bro.
Oh, he got tased yet.
Tase him, baby, tase him.
Tase him, baby, tase him. Come on, officer, tase somebody. She have Down syndrome? Like she's not even there. They are fighting and carrying on like there's not a law enforcement officer standing right there with their taser deployed. Nothing. Has she affected any change to this situation at all? Has anything changed with her presence?
So there was a big fight. Big fight.
Uh-oh, somebody standing with a piece. Somebody has a gun out. Wait a minute. There's a dude there with a gun. Touch me, gun. Where's the cop? Look, if I'm a police officer on the scene, I'm going to be the only one with a gun. So if I know you got a gun, you better put that shit on the floor now.
Hey, touch me, you gonna die. Touch me, you gonna die. Touch me, you gonna die. Hey, nigga, touch me, you gonna die. Nigga, touch me, you gonna die. Nigga, I ain't getting jumped nowhere, you gonna die. Nigga, hey, see.
Where did the cop go? Where did the cop go? What the fuck? That guy had a gun in his hand. Touch me, you're gonna die. Where did she go? Obviously, the scene wasn't secured. They're still yelling and screaming. There's a man with a gun. Where the fuck did she go? T. David says ran for backup. Doesn't she have a radio? Does she not have a radio? Because I think they carry the radio, so you don't have to leave the scene. You just call them on the radio. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That lady was 5 feet tall, 140 pounds, too fucking short, too heavy, too weak. The guitar picker, he says, I just want you to know, Jericho, that I interrupted my yard work to catch the end of the live stream before going to see The Mummy and before the rain starts. Add a second live stream a week. I probably should do that. I could, I think, with my schedule. But I appreciate you interrupting your yard work to hang out. That's serious shit, man. That's serious shit. Yard work? Come on. Man. Yeah, Frank Power, she was definitely being played. What the? Did you see that guy pull her out of the fight by her utility belt? I've never seen. What movie is that from? Because I ain't never seen no shit like that before in my life. Fuck. I have never seen that in my life. Oh, my bad, guitar picker. I didn't see this one. I must have been looking at the video or something. I didn't see it come in. He says, what do you think about Joy Reid comparing women's plight in the U.S. to Iran? Dude, that's just another retarded thing out of a retarded person's mouth. That's the stupidest shit I've ever seen. If the plight for Iranian women is better than that of American women, then why don't you book a flight to Iran? I think the bombs are there's a ceasefire, so you can get in there before the bombs start falling again because Iran's going to act stupid. But if if the hand they're dealt in Iran is better than the one you've been dealt here in America, then it's simple. Be gone. Wow. I thought that was easy. Sharon Ogden, thank you for the $5. She says, been following you before you got braces and when you were still making content in your car. I love you, Jericho. Yeah, you've been here for a while. For a while. You're talking like, shoot, 6 years, 7 years maybe? Thank you. I appreciate it. Guitar picker, I got it, man. Thank you. Gracias, motherfuckers. Man. Oh, yeah, that's right, Oscar. That was Up in Smoke. I never seen no shit like that before in my life. Man. And what's if that guy who had the gun earlier, or had the gun at the end of the video, if he pulled it out earlier, what the fuck was she gonna do? Those guys were fighting like there wasn't a police officer present. When a police officer shows up, you're supposed to tighten up, right? Oh, hey, chill. Oh, hey, put that away. Oh, the cops. Hey, cops. No? No? Bro, that is just fucking... I've never seen nothing like that ever. One more time. The only reason the guy's going backwards is because he's walking backwards. She is not pushing him. Well, look at that. Why would you approach an officer from behind like that? No respect. Pushed her. He's pushing her. When's the last time you pushed an officer in the back? You know what I would have done if I were her? I would have told that, because toward the end of the video, you see a female Home Depot employee standing there. Hey, go get me a 5-gallon bucket of water. I'd take that bucket of water, I'd pour it into a big puddle, I'd stand up on some of that furniture, and then I would shoot the taser into that puddle of liquid and electrocute everybody. Everybody's getting electrocuted. Everybody's getting amps and volts. You're going to stiffen up. You're going to timber. You're all going to fall over. I'm going to have them grab me some zip ties, and I'm zip tying everybody until we get this shit under control. No, hey, guys, no, stop, please. No, guys, don't quiet. Put it, no, stop. Get the fuck out of here. Water, taser, zip ties. Case closed. Remember, what's his name? One of the Baldwin brothers who was the MacGyver smoker and Half Baked. Hey man, get me a socket wrench, a roll of toilet paper, and an avocado. I've made more with less. Hurry up. Dude, get me a bucket of water, a taser, and zip ties. Go. He pushed the officer and then pulled her out of the way. Isn't that assault? If you grab a police officer by their arm and pull them, isn't that assault? You'd be better off letting that old man, what's that old man, about 173? You better off letting him control shit.
That's not how you do it. That ain't how you do it.
This is where the dude grabs her for the fucking fight.
And her beat
with one hand. Watch this dude. One hand. One hand. One hand. Fellas, can somebody pull you out of a fight with one hand? If someone can pull you, you'll see the videos where two guys will be getting into it, and then the guy's girlfriend, no, stop, and she'll push him back. If you let your girl push you back, you don't want to fight. Because when you want to fight, when you want to go after somebody, nobody's going to stop you, let alone your woman, let alone a woman. Bruh. Watch, real quick, she'll look back at the camera and it looks like she has Down syndrome.
You better tag him, bro.
No, she's not.
Tase him,
baby. Watch, she'll look back right here. Down syndrome. Did not look like she has Down syndrome. I can't stand that. I can't sound like, yeah, nigga. Nah, you're all getting barbecued. You're all getting barbecued. You on the radio right there. Please, ooh, ow, ooh, ow, ooh, they're fighting. Help me. What a Disgrace. Hold on. Go back real quick. I want to see something. Yep. I thought so. Look, she has glasses on. And at the end of the video, she doesn't. So you're telling me your glasses got knocked off? Your glasses got knocked off your face. You were assaulted multiple times and did nothing. Did nothing. A male officer would have been able to establish control. Whether you had to pick somebody up and slam them on the concrete or two people, I'm getting my point across. You guys are all going to calm the fuck down or I'm going to start grabbing stuff off of this belt. Dog. That is tar picker. Again, thank you. He says, please live stream with Greg Foreman. Black Conservative. Yeah, I've been on Doc Rich. I'm not familiar with them, but yeah, Greg Foreman. I've been on panels with him before. He's cool. Dog. That. And guys, that's just one video. That's one. I don't even know what to say, man. Oh, here's another video. This has nothing to do with this. I just saw it. This video is fucking. This video is crazy. This is a guy who, I don't know, it was drop off or pickup or something for their kid. They're obviously not together anymore. It's his baby mama or his ex-wife. This bitch is nuts.
Please tell me to record this. You are crazy.
I'm so tired of you. I'm so tired of you. I'm so tired of you.
You are making this so much worse. Please tell me you're recording this, please. You are going to lose custody of Damien for this. Why would you do this?
Why would I lose custody when you...
Look at you. You broke my fucking window.
Let go.
Can you stop? Like, what the fuck? Stop. Can you? No, we need to call someone.
Okay.
Like, this is actually ridiculous.
Yep.
Oh my god. Please tell me to record this.
What the fuck? Whoa. Whoa. Oof. He must have put that ding dong on her. Holy shit. She was holding on for dear life. Wow. Okay. Sorry about that. I just saw that and I was like, oh, what the? Road raggy? Okay, where were we? Get serious. Stop fucking around. Stop it. Stop it, comment section. Don't you do this to me. What you try to do to me? Okay. Yeah. Booyakasha. Man, oh man. What a crazy world we live in. What a crazy world we live in, people. Okay. God, this. I don't mean to be sexist when I say this, but there's probably nothing worse, if anything, but a bunch of women just loud and chaotic. It just drives me nuts. It makes my blood boil. But that's what we're about to get into here. Again, female cops, are they a liability? You saw the last one. That's the craziest female cop fail video I've ever fucking seen in my life. Knocked her glasses off, assaulted multiple times, made zero impact on the situation. And I mean zero. That was the first one. Here, I think this is in North Carolina somewhere, just fucking weaves and bonnets and I count 1, 2, 3, at least 4 female officers trying to quell this melee. So you got at least 4 female officers and 1 big fat ass 400-pound male officer who's actually, I would say his big ass ain't even as worthless as those chicks, because at least he has strength. No speed, no endurance, but strength. I mean, holy hell. Just what the fuck, man? I'm not saying we should bomb our own citizens, but I would just pull my gun out. Boom, boom, boom. Shut the fuck up. The next one of you banshees that makes a peep, I'm going to shoot you like Della Reese in Harlem Nights in your fucking pinky toe. Shut up.
Hold on. Chill out.
He said, get the fuck off of me. Look how she ran up, didn't even do anything. Five. There's a fifth one. 5 female cops. Hold on. 6. Hold on. Wait. Whoa. So we got 1. She got pepper sprays. What you get, you stupid ass? 2, 3, 4. You got the white officer, white female, 5, 6, 7. There's like 12 female cops out here. How do you have 12 female? Another one. How do you have that many female cops in one department? Let alone one scene. Look at these bitches. Nothing but bitches and fat dudes. Where is this city so I never visit there?
She needs some milk.
They don't even look like real cops. They look like what do they call them? The junior officers, like high school kids that are like gonna be cops, and they put them out. They take them they bring them out at festivals to do parking and shit. But they have guns on their hips, so they're real cops. What the fuck? Why do you got all those? Another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's probably 8 to 10 female cops staying around this one idiot who got pepper sprayed. Throw that bitch a bottle of water and move on. Look at the skinny, ripped jeans, man. If I was a cop, I'd take all the shit off my utility belt and just walk through there with my belt, fold it in half, and start whooping ass. If you got ripped, skinny jeans on, I'm about to beat the black off of you. Take your punk ass home, get online, find your father, and establish a relationship. What the fuck is this? I thought only females wore tight jeans.
You gotta think about it,
Nothing but nigglets and bitches as far as the eye can see. Look at all the trash. Look at the trash on the ground. What's on your ass, lady? The fuck? There's trash and Jordans everywhere. Of course somebody got fucking hurt. Probably got shot. Holy hell. If they don't use all the bombs in Iran, I'm just saying. Must have been 15 or 20 female cops out there not controlling shit. I think that's the same department who on a live stream a couple weeks ago, they had this commercial they made. Oh, let's introduce you to all the women that work in women in the police department. There were a couple dykes who were on the SWAT team, had their dogs. It was pretty obvious who the lesbians were. And then there's just lesbians and grandmas. If they weren't a lesbian, they were somebody's 60-year-old grandma with like their hair up in a bun, like the lady from Facts of Life, Mrs. Garrett. They either look like Leslie Jones or Mrs. Garrett. It was Leslie Jones, it was Marsha Warfield and Mrs. Garrett. Why do they have these women as police officers? I'm not talking no Ronda Rousey looking females. They don't even look like her. They're a bunch of lumpy, out of shape bitches who should probably be online arguing with somebody and not walking around with a gun on their hip with authority. What the fuck, man? No, Sharon Nell Carter was the fat black lady from Give Me a Break. Mrs. Garrett was the redheaded lady who ran the dorm that all the girls stayed in Facts of Life. Mrs. Garrett. She kind of sounded like RFK. What in the hell was that? I don't know. I think the Home Depot female cop wins by a hair, but this one was pretty bad too. Yeah, none the miser. At least Mrs. Garrett knew how to use a rolling pin. Yeah, if you rolled up in there late at night after curfew, she's about to come downstairs with one of those green avocado masks on her face and rollers in her hair and beat your ass with a rolling pin. Boy, that'd be a terrible way to go, wouldn't it? Have somebody cave your dome in with a fucking rolling pin. Owie. Hopefully you'd be out after the first one. Oof. Yusuf Putz, get it. Get it, dog. I'll put the link in the description box. Look how helpful I am. Actually, I'm like super helpful. Like I'm always like doing helpful things for people. I'm actually a really kind person and like actually like the best person you know. So like, yeah. I'm actually like a really good person and I'm like super kind and I like help people. So like that's what I'm doing. Whoop. There it is. Pin to the top. Pin to the top. Get your green gear, motherfucker. I'm always designing new shit. Quality. Quality. I got my kids some green gear for Christmas. And it warms my heart when they wear it all the time. No, you're cutting onions. Ilhan, you little Somali troll. Give her some federal funding coin. She'll come out. Come here. Ilhan, come here. Come here. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. Hold on. Little coin here. Hey, Ilhan, come here. Come on. She comes up. Here, Ilhan. And you give her the coin. She takes it. You put it out real slow. She, all right, Ilhan, I gave you your coin. Now tell me a Somali fable. Never drink elephant piss. Goat piss is much better. And she scurries off back under the bridge at Minnesota. Minnesota. Oh, bummer. AK Nation News Nightly. AK Nation. That sounds good to me. So I'll take one. I shot AK-47 one time, fully auto. I mean, Viagra works, but man, if you can, if you can get your hands on a fully automatic AK-47, that'll do the trick. That'll do the trick. Woo! That'll do it. But nobody can tell you shit on the when you're holding a fully automatic AK. But a little bastard. And I don't like this. I don't like when public or elected officials in this case, anybody put into office by any public servant, let me say it that way, no matter how you got into office. If you are a public servant, then you need to handle the public in a certain way. You need to handle the public like you're their servant, if that makes sense, right? Public servant. So you need to treat the public with a certain reverence. We're your boss, so you need to act like we're your boss. You need to treat us with respect. You need to answer our fucking questions as long as they're not of a personal nature. So if we're asking you what you did with the money that we gave you, because that's your salary, it comes from us. If we're asking you what you did with the money we gave you, then you should be all smiles and manners and answer our question. Not, I don't have to tell you shit. Hold up. Hold up. You're not a private business owner. You're a public servant. I don't know if you have the same definition for words in Somalia that we do in America, but in America, public is us, and servant means you do what we tell you to do. Do servants even get paid? You're getting paid a handsome sum. And this is the attitude? And this is perfect. This shot right here, this still of Ilhan Omar, it's perfect. Look at that little face. She looks like a little rat. She looks like she has her hands always near her mouth, nibbling on something, some morsel that she stole from a grain silo. She looks like a fucking little weasel. She looks like dogs would chase her in the park. How dare you? Not like Greta Fugenbergen with the umlauts over the O in her name. But seriously, how dare you speak to a member of the public like this when you work for us, you little Somali shit?
Congresswoman Omar, the last time I spoke to you, you said that I was stupid for asking you about your financial disclosure, but there's some discrepancies on there. Would you like to explain that? How did you make such a big mistake on it? Absolutely, you're stupid for asking me anything. I am?
I absolutely think you're stupid for asking me anything. When's the last time you spoke to your boss like that? When's the last time your boss came up to you and asked you a question and you looked at your boss and said, I think you're stupid for asking me anything?
Yes. Well, what about the American people who are wondering how you made such a big mistake?
I have explained to the American people.
What's the explanation?
I have given...
Ooh, girl, you are shit. Golly, girl. You are not easy on the eyes. Maybe if you weren't such an evil little money-grubbing third world leech, I wouldn't think that, but golly. Take that shit off your head. You're on our clock.
Give them the explanation.
Do you want to tell our viewers? Because
I don't want to tell you jack shit. Oh. How about that?
I don't want to tell you jack shit. Take that fucking shit off your head. You wear that on your time, not mine. I don't want some Somali Muslim double agent on the clock getting paid to siphon information back to you who you're truly loyal to. You fucking little bastard.
Okay. Have a good day. Thank you, Congresswoman.
Bitch.
Congresswoman Omar, the last time I spoke to you, you said that I was stupid for asking you about your financial disclosure, but there's some discrepancies on there. Would you like to explain that? How did you make such a big mistake on it?
Absolutely, you're stupid for asking me anything.
I am?
Yes.
Well, what about the American people who are wondering how you made such a big mistake?
I have explained to the American people.
What's the explanation?
I have given them the explanation.
Do you want to tell our viewers? Because
I don't want to tell you jack shit. Oh. How about that?
Okay. Have a good day. Thank you, Congresswoman.
You ugly little bastard. And I don't mean you're outside. I mean you're inside, you evil little shit. I've told the American people I don't have to tell you jack shit. Yeah, you do. Because the problem is, here, let me get this article here so I can sound all important, highfalutin. And it was described as an accounting discrepancy, or accounting error. Sorry, an accounting error. Turns out she's not a millionaire. Oopsie doodle. Representative Ilhan Omar's reported net worth dropped from up to $30 million to under $100,000 due to an accounting error in her congressional financial disclosure. Oh! In 2025, Representative Ilhan Omar and her husband, Tim Minette, evil white guy, filed a congressional financial disclosure that initially listed their household assets as high as $30 million, including stakes in Minette's businesses, a winery, and a venture capital firm, Rose Lake Capital. This filing dramatically overstated their wealth because it did not account for the liabilities of these businesses, leading to a misleading net worth calculation. Oh, well, you little bastard. So the amended disclosure, after scrutiny from the Office of Congressional Conduct and Public Attention, Omar voluntarily amended her disclosure. The corrected filing now shows their combined assets between $18,000 and $95,000, with the businesses effectively having no net value once liabilities were included. And she makes over $150,000 a year. $150,000 a year. She's been in office for like 5 years, 30 million. Ooh, I don't know how she got there. But that's the problem. You said your net worth, your assets were between 6 and 30 million, and they ended up being between 20 and 95,000. That's a big one. I think if you did your taxes on your own, you wouldn't see a discrepancy that fucking big. And so I called somebody. Shout out to Thomas. Hold on. Let me get this right. Let me get his business name right, because I told him that I would shout him out. And I didn't want to get it wrong. See if I can find it. So I think it was Eagle River. Because I spoke to him, yeah. American River. One second. Yeah, American River CPA. And that's in Sacramento, California, 3626 Fair Oaks Boulevard. Asked for my man Thomas. I spoke to him and I didn't give him any names. You know, I kept it very general because I didn't want to skew his opinion in any way. So I just, left the names out. I told him here's the situation. And one of the things he mentioned that I didn't even think of is the reason that they might have inflated their net worth is if you're going for a loan. If you're going for a loan saying, I got all this money coming in, so that it won't be a problem paying you back. They say, oh shit, you're worth this much? And you only want this much? Yeah, hell yeah, we'll give you the loan. We'll pay back in no time. We could be loaning you money for the next 20, 30 years. Hell yeah. So that could be a reason that they did that. But he said something is shady. Now, he said it is possible because, of course, they're hanging this around the CPA's neck. They're saying that it was bad bookkeeping on their part, that there was a mistake on their part. And so I'm wondering, is that even a thing? Can you have such a discrepancy? Millions, potentially tens of millions to tens of thousands? That's huge. And he said it can happen. He said when you have humans doing things, humans are going to make mistakes. I said, yeah, that's very true, but damn, that much? And he said there could have been some falsifying of records on Omar's part because, again, he didn't know who it was. I left the names out. But it could be on that person's part because the CPA is only going to know what you tell them. So they're going to base it off of what you tell them. Of course, there's some homework they can do. And they can look into your financial records, but they're only going to know basically what you show them. But I've done my taxes quite a few times. And when you're dealing with things like that, such as what is your net worth, any kind of official record keeping they have to do, I'm sure there's a signature in there somewhere. You're going to have to sign something somewhere. And if your CPA came to you with paperwork that said you were worth, say, 15 million, but you're only worth about 200,000, hello, there's going to be, aren't you going to say, hey, wait a minute, man, hold on, because you don't want to get in trouble, right? You don't want to fuck with those records and get in trouble. So you're going to say, hey, hold on, bruh. Hold on, I'm not quite worth that much. I'm working on it, but I'm not quite worth $15 million. Change that. But that's probably not what happened. And she has a history of shady accusations. You married your brother. You and your you had what, $600,000 that you paid to your now husband's business. You hired him at the tune of $600,000 to do some work for you. So there's shit in the past that say she might not be a very savory character. And now this. Oh, whoops, my bad. Let me fix it. Oh man, did I put the comma in? I meant to put the comma over here. Not 5 zeros down. My bad. There was only supposed to be 3 zeros, not 6. She's full of shit. You got busted, you little bastard. And the most messed up part is you ain't even supposed to be here. We plucked you from the Earth's anus, known as Somalia, and brought you to America. And this is how you repay us? You try to fuck one of our states up. You steal money from us. You're fraudulent. I guarantee you're in bed with all these Leering centers and all that other federal funding fraud that's going on in Minnesota. Little shit. But despite all that, shout out to Thomas. I really appreciate you taking your time, giving me your knowledge over there at American River CPA Corporation, 3626 Fair Oaks Boulevard, Sacramento, California, the state capital. People, I gotta go. I told my son I would be done at 4 o'clock. It's 4:19. Oh, it just turned 4:20, dude. Oh. So we're gonna hang out. Probably gonna play some basketball, play some catch. That's all he wants to do is play. Dad, can we play? Dad, can we play? I'm gonna go kick it with him. Hear what kind of crazy shit's going on in his 10-year-old mind. What happened on the playground today in 4th grade? Very excited. I appreciate you guys being here. I will take into consideration maybe doing more than one live stream a week. See how that goes. Make sure you guys hit the link, get that green gear. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time, your questions, your comments, your gosh money. And we'll be right back here next Friday for what a fucking week. We'll see what kind of crazy bullshit went on. And I'm sure it will blow all the crazy bullshit of this week out of the water. Thank you all. I appreciate it. But you know how it goes. Try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Guys, I'm out.